Hello, my love. I'm Selena Hart. And if you're here today, it's not by accident. Your soul brought you. For June 9th, Scorpio, the energy feels like a threshold between two realms. One is familiar, shaped by old stories, old rhythms, old versions of you. The other is still forming in the quiet corners of your intuition, unspoken but deeply felt. You might sense that you don't quite fit in your usual surroundings today, or that certain conversations, expectations, or even people just don't land the way they used to. This isn't a mistake. It's a sacred shift. You're not drifting off course. You're rising into a higher frequency. And no, you're not meant to blend in right now. You're meant to pause, to feel, and to ask, what does alignment actually feel like to me? The universe is inviting you to step back from the noise, from the pressure to perform, and instead lean into your inner knowing. Even if life around you feels chaotic, your spirit is reaching for truth, for clarity, for resonance. So today, give yourself permission to evolve without explanation. Your inner compass is recalibrating, and that, dear Scorpio, is where your real power begins. As this sacred shift unfolds, the universe gently reminds you, Scorpio, that balance isn't a final destination, it's a rhythm. Somewhere between effort and ease, giving and retreat, there is a quiet middle ground calling you home. Today invites you to release extremes and lean into moderation. You don't need to prove your productivity or justify your rest. Both are sacred. True healing happens where effort meets grace. So let yourself soften without falling apart. What feels quiet inside you now isn't broken, it's integrating. Old fears may rise, not to punish, but to be seen and released. You may hear echoes of doubt or old stories, but remember, not every thought is truth. The fog isn't here to stop you, it's a call to look deeper. Let your instincts guide you, but don't let fear narrate your next chapter. A quiet opportunity may begin to emerge today, whether in work, learning, or a subtle shift in finances. This isn't about quick wins, but about planting seeds that grow through devotion. Ask yourself, what am I ready to invest in? With energy, time, and belief in my own growth. Emotions may stir gently. Regret, nostalgia, or longing could surface, but they don't diminish your power. In fact, they point you toward what still holds life. The past may not have gone as planned, but it shaped the wisdom you carry now. And this moment, it's not the end, it's the entrance into something more aligned. Finally, a choice may arise, one that asks you to lead with truth. Whether in love, reconnection, or self-understanding, let it come from authenticity, not fear. The love aligned with your truth won't require you to shrink or chase. It will rise to meet you exactly where you are, whole, ready, and free. Love today doesn't whisper. It hums quietly but persistently through your heart, Scorpio, stirring feelings you can no longer ignore. Something you've tried to dismiss may now be rising to the surface. Undeniable, honest, and deeply felt. This isn't just desire or connection. It's truth revealing itself through the subtle cues of your body, how it tenses when something's off or softens when it's right. If you're in a relationship, this is a moment for brave conversation. Silence no longer protects, it isolates. You may be wondering, are we still growing together or simply growing apart? Speak the unspoken. Often, honesty is the medicine love needs to heal or to part with peace. If you're single, there may be a soul-level connection approaching, quiet, familiar, and intuitive. It won't be loud, but it will feel like recognition. The question is, will you allow yourself to be seen truly and without defense? No matter your status, today asks you to choose not just who you love, but how. Will it be guarded or open, fearful or whole? The cosmos doesn't seek perfection, only sincerity. And love that aligns with your truth will never ask you to shrink. It will simply meet you. Abundance begins with awareness, Scorpio. And today, your financial intuition is sharper than ever. A quiet but significant opportunity is emerging, one that may not look extravagant on the surface, but carries real potential for long-term growth. This could be a message, a side conversation, a delayed response in your inbox, something that seems ordinary at first glance, but opens a door you weren't expecting. Be present enough to notice it. Prosperity often arrives wrapped in simplicity, waiting for someone discerning enough to recognize its value. You are entering a new cycle of practical expansion. The energy surrounding you supports grounded ambition. Learning something new, investing in your growth, or exploring a side hustle that aligns with your values. But this is not a moment for shortcuts or grand leaps. Success today lives in the fine print, the follow-up, the daily consistency. Be thorough, be curious, and most importantly, trust the pace at which things are unfolding. You don't need to rush into wealth. You only need to keep showing up with care. If doubts creep in, reminding you of past setbacks or financial missteps, pause. Those echoes do not define the chapter you're stepping into. You are wiser now, more intentional, and more magnetic than ever before. The universe is responding to your inner frequency, so make sure it reflects belief, not fear. A grateful, proactive mindset will multiply your luck. And speaking of luck, your numbers for today are 9, 18, 21, 33, 45, and 54. Let them guide you, not as a guarantee, but as a gentle affirmation that the tides are shifting in your favor. Stay grounded, stay alert, and above all, stay open. As a gentle fog settling over your professional life today, Scorpio, not enough to halt progress, but just enough to blur your usual clarity. You may feel a dip in motivation or a loss of focus, as if your inner compass needs recalibration. This isn't failure. It's a necessary pause. Whether it's a delayed project, unclear expectations, or subtle tension in your environment, something is quietly asking for your attention. Rather than forcing clarity or charging ahead, allow space for reflection. Ask yourself honestly, what do I truly want from my work? Your goals may need updating, not because they were wrong, but because you have evolved. There's also a message about boundaries. If you've been taking on more than you should or saying yes when your spirit says no, it's time to recenter. You don't have to prove your value through constant output. Today isn't about pushing. It's about returning to your purpose. The answers will come, not in the noise, but in the stillness. Your body, much like your spirit, is whispering for balance today, Scorpio. There may have been a recent stretch of overexertion, too much output, too little rest, or a pattern of skipping over your basic needs in the name of productivity. But the truth is, you can't pour from an empty vessel. Temperance arrives not just as a symbol of moderation, but as a call for sacred recalibration. Hydrate more intentionally. Nourish yourself with meals that feel grounding. Reclaim your evenings by allowing sleep to become a ceremony, not just a collapse. And if the world feels too loud, find 10 quiet minutes to step outside or sit in silence. Your nervous system will thank you. These small rituals aren't frivolous. They are the stitching that holds your inner world together. As your external life begins to shift, your physical foundation must stay steady. Today is not about drastic changes or new routines. It's about remembering what your body has been asking for all along and finally giving it. Energy that is nurtured becomes power that is sustainable. Listen in, then respond with gentleness. Somewhere within your close relationship, Scorpio, there may be a quiet ache, an unspoken tension, a comment that lingered too long, or a subtle shift that left you feeling unseen. The emotional undercurrent of the day asks you to acknowledge these spaces without judgment. You don't need to fix everything, but you are being invited to soften. Forgiveness, in this case, isn't about excusing the pain. It's about releasing the grip it has on your energy. Perhaps someone didn't show up for you the way you needed. Perhaps you said something out of exhaustion that you now regret. Either way, healing begins not with blame, but with intention. This is a powerful time to extend the first word, the first gesture, not because you're wrong, but because you no longer want to carry the emotional weight of silence. Your strength lies in your emotional depth, but also in your ability to choose peace over pride. Reach out where it feels honest to do so. Even a small act of openness can restore more harmony than you expect. The emotional landscape of the day calls for gentleness, and the company you keep can either steady your heart or stir its waters. Today, you may find yourself naturally drawn to those who understand without asking, who listen between the lines. Pisces, Virgo, and Cancer. These signs offer you something rare, emotional resonance without the need for performance. Whether through quiet companionship, thoughtful advice, or a shared sense of intuition, their presence can feel like a balm to your soul. At the same time, be mindful of interactions with more fixed energies like Taurus or Leo, especially if your own emotions are feeling volatile. What might normally be a simple difference of opinion could spark unnecessary tension today. That doesn't mean these connections are wrong. It simply means they may require more space, more patience, or more silence right now. Choose your conversations like you choose your rituals, with intention, with care, and with an awareness of your emotional bandwidth. The goal is not to avoid, it's to preserve your peace. Today, Scorpio, your aura finds calm in the quiet elegance of mauve, a soft, misty shade of purple that feels like a whisper from your higher self. This color doesn't shout for attention. It soothes, it listens, it holds space for the mysteries you're still unraveling. Wearing or surrounding yourself with this tone can help you drop into your intuition more deeply, especially when the outside world feels uncertain or emotionally dense. Mauve invites you to slow down and let your inner wisdom rise to the surface. It clears the mental static, allowing you to see the truth not just with your eyes, but with your spirit. If you're feeling overwhelmed, hold something mauve near. A piece of fabric, a crystal, a flickering candle in that hue, and breathe. Let the color remind you that you are not lost, just in the process of seeing more clearly, and that clarity often arrives in stillness, not noise. Let this be your quiet mantra today, Scorpio. I trust what I feel, even when I cannot see it clearly. My heart knows the way. These words are not just a comfort, they are a compass. In a world that often demands proof before belief, this affirmation is your gentle rebellion. It's a reminder that your intuition, though invisible to the eye, holds a wisdom deeper than logic, sharper than doubt. Repeat it when the path feels uncertain. Whisper it when you're tempted to second guess yourself. Breathe it in when emotions rise and clarity feels far away. This isn't about knowing every step ahead. It's about knowing that each feeling, each inner tug, each quiet knowing is guiding you toward alignment. Your heart has always known the way back to your truth. Today, you simply remember to follow. And so, my dear Scorpio, as we close this sacred space, remember, this moment isn't a detour. It's part of your divine unfolding. The questions, the emotions, the shifts, they're not mistakes, but invitations to rise into deeper alignment with who you truly are. I'm Selena Hart, and it's always an honor to walk beside you like this, soul to soul. If today's message touched something within you, trust that it was meant to. You are not alone. You are guided, supported, and deeply seen. Take a breath, soften, let life meet you where you are. And until we meet again, stay true, stay open, and keep listening to the quiet wisdom of your heart.